Welcome to the Women in Tech podcast series, brought to you by Wisconsin Tech Month. This series is all about shining a light on the women who are driving change and breaking barriers in tech. Each episode is about celebrating their journeys, successes, and the impact they're making in our industry. Let's hear their stories.
Well, I believe that I'm a beneficiary of good fortune. I had moved from the East Coast, New York and New Jersey, to San Francisco at an auspicious moment, which was right before the first dot-com boom in the late 90s. And I found my spot at Red Herring, which is a high-tech investment publishing house with a website, which was innovative for that time. We were matchmakers, so we matched money from venture capitalists and investment banks with tech startups. And at that time, it was internet startups and digital advertising. So think of eBay, Yahoo, DoubleClick. Those were just the beginning, and they were the days. I was in the conferences division where I spent 4 years cultivating international partnerships with VCs and investment bankers for conferences in new markets, specifically Asia and Europe. And then from there, I took a long journey around the block and came back to providing communications for a handful of Silicon Valley tech companies, and also connected with Digital Nest, which is a nonprofit here in California. They're a longtime partner, and they provide Latinx youth in rural communities with skills in the network to compete for tech jobs. And where I am today is as the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships and Communications at Everyone On, which is a national digital inclusion organization with local impact. And we help connect communities to affordable internet devices, and we provide digital skills training so they can unlock opportunity that you can only find on the internet. I love this question. So the earlier days before the first dot-com bust in the late 90s were a little rough in the Bay Area. The field was very male-dominated and sexist. I think people who lived through that time can recall that. But times have changed, and I'm also working at a nonprofit for the first time in my career. I mean, I've worked with nonprofits on the outside, but this is the first time I'm inside. So there's a lot more awareness of social injustice. And I also work with a very diverse community of individuals who are more inclusive. However, men are still getting more funding, even with the rise of the woman and female leadership. So we still have quite a ways to go. So there have been quite a few challenges, as anyone would attest. I've consulted with a lot of large companies, including tech and consumer and healthcare, on their corporate social responsibility, or CSR. So while not exclusively tech, it's worth mentioning the trends in CSR, because CSR folks often have to make a much stronger case for investment. In fact, as we've seen recently, a much more drastic take with CSR, specifically around DEI and social impact programs, are being cut completely due to market forces and social trends. I worked in the EV industry and with tech companies to invest in girls' education and women's rights, and the latter cause being my main focus, and a large number of the population that we serve at Everyone On. But admittedly, I've had more successes with the many initiatives and projects I've been lucky to be a part of and lead, including launching the first SEC-approved microfinance platform, which was a subsidiary for eBay. For Warner Brothers, the team and I, a campaign called We Can Be Heroes to raise funds and awareness of the hunger crisis in the Horn of Africa. I led the creation and launch of Astellas Pharmaceuticals U.S. Social Impact Division, led the Procter & Gamble social purpose portfolio, and global screenings of Girl Rising during International Day of the Girl. So even if I haven't promoted tech directly, it's always been the backdrop against which all this change has been made possible. I really love innovation. I mean, full stop. The constant problem solving and networking to improve things through moderation is often handicapped by capitalism and the how far we can go motto. But that said, most recently through Everyone On, we connect the unconnected or underconnected. And like I mentioned earlier, most of the participants we serve are women. So in a 4 to 6 week digital skills training class they take with us, their lives are changed. With this new knowledge, a woman, and equally important, her confidence has an exponential impact on her family and her community. And working with Digital Nest, seeing Latinx youth, children of farm workers, children of hourly wage workers, discovering and creating bright futures available because of what their founder, Jacob Martinez, created at the Nest is really just, it's just such an incredible, heartwarming thing to see that many of the overlooked communities now have opportunity. So the equity is increasing, but again, just like with gender issues, we still have a way to go. Tech is a tough industry. Jobs come and go. We saw when COVID happened, tech companies couldn't hire fast enough. And then subsequently, they laid off thousands of people. So I think, for me, the best advice that I've noticed throughout my career is to strike a balance between what aspect of tech a person is passionate about, and then also finding stability inside that passion. And remember, tech is everywhere. It doesn't have to be, a career with a big tech company. It's a very diverse field, as I've learned throughout my own career. So, just being open-minded about what that could look like working in tech. Oh, best way would be on LinkedIn. I'm at Jessica Scadron, Jessica Scadron. That is my LinkedIn handle, and you can direct message me and I will respond.
And that's it for today's episode of the Women in Tech series. A big thank you to our guest for sharing her story and inspiring us all. Make sure you check out all of the amazing things that are happening during Wisconsin Tech Month. There is so much to discover, from workshops to panels to networking events. Stay connected with our incredible community of tech leaders and innovators throughout the month of October. Thanks for listening.